as far as I understand it, she only ever appears as a wolf, never in any kind of human form or anything other than a wolf. Is that correct? And in that kind of form, is she considered by the Romans as a goddess, as a deity, or as just some kind of wolf energy?
So she was actually deified by the Romans as goddess Lupa. So she was deified by them. So I always find a funny thing that we can actually determine what's a god and what isn't, the power of man.
Yeah, you're on this list. No, you're not on that list.
Exactly, yeah. I think because she predates Rome, she's an Etruscan goddess, but perhaps even before that, the Villanovians. So, going way back, and I think that her energy is just connected to the land of that area before it even became Rome. And I think she harks back to a time when, if you look at even the Etruscan religion, for them, later on you get Jupiter. Jupiter would be, if you heard thunder, it's him kind of having a conversation with you, or, getting mumbling about something. Right. Or, if lightning came down, it's a sign that he's doing something. But the Etruscans, Jupiter was the lightning. So it's not that he used lightning, he was the lightning. So you're talking back to a culture where, the deities are not using nature or living in nature. They are nature. Yeah. So this is why she's a she-wolf, I think, because she's predating kind of this time when we start to make the deities kind of human. Yeah. We start to relate to them in a way that is more like us, and they end up getting human characteristics and relationships. And I think that a lot of these gods and goddesses that are older Roman, that go back into the ancient Italian history, have this more elemental kind of vibe to them. It's not until later influence that they start to have relationships. It's again, Jupiter again. So he doesn't have any kind of like Zeus, he has loads of extramarital relations. He's kind of a bit of a stud, isn't he?
They had a good old time, basically, didn't they? The Roman and the Greek gods.
I know, bit sexy.
It's total soap opera. All of
I was about to go into a funny story there, but that would be a sidetrack.
You can sidetrack. We don't mind.
It is kind of a funny story. I went to Crete this year for the first time ever, and I was determined that I wanted to go to the cave of Zeus.
Right.
And I wanted to go and honor his birthplace, because I adore goddess Rhea. Rhea's one of my favorites. So I decided to go and take an offering, and you're not supposed to, don't tell anybody. I took it to the cave and put a little offering out. Kind of when no one was looking, I kind of flung it behind a stalactite. But when I was there, I was making this offering to Zeus. So I was thinking do I really want the attention of Zeus? Because I'm going to go out of this cave now, and there's going to be an eagle going to be trying to chat me up. I was like, anyway. Yeah, so I always had these funny thoughts about Zeus. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to be too nice to him, because he might take it as flirtation. But anyway, that was a sidetrack. So yeah, so coming back to Jupiter. So like I said, Jupiter very much even into the Roman period, the ancient Roman period. He's not like Zeus at all. He's a completely separate. One of the things that missed me about when people compare them, because I'm the Roman deities go way back before the Greeks, and they're completely different. People need to look at their Roman and their Etruscan and their Villanovian kind of history, because Jupiter, he's very loyal to Juno, and he's a gentle, benevolent energy. He doesn't. I'm sure he does have sexy stuff, but he doesn't. He doesn't have these extramarital relations. He's very, kind of dignified and solid like the earth, and you're very kind and kind of the ideal father figure. And he is the lightning, but the lightning is an expression, of his wisdom. So it's a very, very different kind of vibe.
I think we get this idea, don't we, that's it. The Roman gods didn't exist beforehand. They stole them all from the Greeks, and there was nothing beforehand. But that's not right, is it?
No, at all. And it's one of these things that I'm gonna bring the fire down a little bit, because I get really about this. But like, you know, these ancient Roman, these ancient Italian gods and goddesses, yeah, they go way, way back. And kind of what happens was, you know, you have the Empire of Rome expands, you know, and as it expands, you know, it's a political move to say, okay, well, your god or goddess is kind of like this one, so, you know, it's okay for you to worship that one because this is like ours, you know. So you have that happening, like, you know, in every single culture they go to, you know. So, you know, you could compare, say, like, you know, so if you're going to be looking at themes as well, like archetypes, you know, all over the world we have essential archetypes, and you can always fit a god or goddess into that archetype. You know, it's like if you would take lightning, you know, you would have kind of like, you know, Thor, Zeus, you know.
Every culture will have one.
You know,
every culture has
exactly.
a war.
There's one that always is going to connect to that.
Yeah.
And so for me, I believe they all come from like this same kind of archetype and the same essence, but in themselves, they are their own manifestation.
Yes.
And I think the Roman deities should be honoured for that and recognised for that. But, you know, Lupa is still unique in that she is the only one that is essentially a wolf and manifests as a wolf. And I think that is because her message is about coming back into our essential nature. So maybe not even how we are human, but yeah, how we manifest our essential nature into human, but coming back into our wild primal self, our essential being, the part that has no conditions and limitations, is away from the judgments, you know, all of those things. She brings us back to our essential being so we can live our destiny. And this is why she takes Romulus and Remus into the cave, into the darkness, and they go back to the womb tomb, you know, the womb of the mother, into the earth, so they can remember who they are, so they can become kings. You know, they were just babies beforehand. They were just, like, you know, the sons and grandsons, you know, of royalty, but they have to go into the dark. They have to go in with the wolf, into that deepest dark part of self, to remember who they are, you know, who their seed being is, so they can awaken that seed and come out as a king. And that's what makes her so different.
Yeah, she is fascinating. I think fascinating because she's so different, really.